Hello? Okay. So Pick'ems is supposed to be ready, but I'm stuck at 0. What is this? There we go. Okay. So hi, this is Inslok here. Um, if you have no idea what you're doing for Pick'ems, I'm here to help. Basically, yeah. So let's run through. So yeah, I think G2 should be Genji. Genji didn't look that strong. Um, Winning their group. Damwon, of course, is #1 of Korea, so they should be able to beat the other members of Korea. Let's go to the other side, Top Esports. They're probably the favorites to win the tournament, so probably them. I mean, Fnatic's good, but also Europe seems to struggle against LPL teams. So there's that. I'm gonna go JD over Suning because Top and JD just seem above every other LPL team in their thing there. I'm gonna go Top, although you can go JD, because JD is they went to best of 5 against them, I think. So you could really go either way, but Top, you have Knight, you have Jackie Love. I'd prefer those two over the members of JD, so it's my preference there. And then down here, G2 versus Damwon. I think it could go either way, depending what G2 shows up, because G2 seems to be doing good against Korea, but I'm gonna go Damwon because Damwon. We've heard for like 2 years now these are scrim gods, and they're showing up now, and also G2 didn't look that good in the group stage, considering they struggled against Suning, which is 3rd place LPL. So I think that given Damwon came first in their group, I think G2 will struggle against Damwon. So that's a prediction. And then finally, Top versus Damwon. Do I believe in the scrim gods, or do I believe in LPL retaining? I think I'm going to give it to LPL retaining again. You could go either way. I think a lot of this could go either way. I think the semifinals are basically locked in, but from there you could go any way you kind of want. Only things, maybe Genji and maybe Suning. I don't see Fnatic winning though. That's pretty unlikely. It's possible, but I think it's very unlikely. Of course, anything is possible. I mean, if you want to go full euphoria, you put Fnatic in there, you put G2 in the finals, and have a G2 win the world championship with the championship. But I think this is the most likely outcome. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe and all that. But I'm gonna have a brief talk about group stage. I should have done that first, but I imagine people are just interested in looking at my pickups for knockout. But I kind of want to talk about the group stage. Basically, it went as predicted. Perfect group D. The other thing, I got some 3-4s mixed up, and then I got 1-2 mixed up. So it's pretty. Top teams made it out kind of thing. Nothing too unexpected. TSM and Rogue, I thought, really underperformed. Yeah, those are the standouts. You think Damwon? I think. So I have my chat open here because I'm live streaming. So Damwon, I think you could go Damwon or Top. If this is the most likely outcome. I think you could go Damwon or Top. I'm just going Top just because LPL has won the last few years. So, in terms of current strength, history, LPL seems more likely. So Top seems more likely, but I could see Damwon winning it because they're so strong. The only problem I have with Damwon is the rest of Korea looks a lot weaker than Damwon does. So competition wise, Damwon doesn't seem to have much competition to, prove how strong they are. But I mean, they did perform very well against JD, so that that is true. So you can just see that they can beat the second best team. So if you use their performance against JD, then yes, I could easily see Damwon. I could easily see Damwon winning Worlds because of their performance against JD, right? Uh, you know, there is a scenario that G2 shows up, but I think given their performance in the group stage, I do not think that's likely. Although I know they are a best of 5 team and they're stronger best of 5, but all these teams, they they are good best of 5 teams, right? You don't get to this point being bad at best of 5s, right? So so I'm not gonna give it to G2, but I think you could go either way. I think Damwon is very likely. Um, it's just history, basically tells me Tez should be top esports should be the one going there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have my chat open if anyone has any other comments here. Uh, you know, like I say, I think Suning has really improved since their time in LPL. Well, okay, so yeah, you're asking why did I put JD over Suning? Well, JD is the second LPL team. They did take top esports to a best of 5 in the finals in the LPL. Suning was not really a challenge for either of these two teams in there. Yeah, so Suning wasn't really a challenge for them. You're also asking about G2 versus Genji. I mean, you can give it to Genji, but G2 is, better internationally. I think Genji's group was very weak. I mean, with outside of Fnatic, I think Genji's group is very weak, so you can't really predict how strong they are right out of groups. They seem to struggle at some points in groups. Also, they're the third LCK team, so they are automatically weaker than DRX and Damwon Gaming based on their performance at LCK. G2 hasn't really been known to struggle too much against LCK teams, against Korean teams, so I think it's likely G2 could win there. There's a chance this can happen. I just think it's likely that G2 can beat Genji. Also, EU style tends to work against EU style tends to work against Korean style based on the recent history of the last 2 years. So this is that. Yeah, I guess I could talk about each team a little bit more. So top, again, tournament favorites. I think based on what we've seen, Damwon are also tournament favorites. But if you choose JD Gaming to go over top esports, or Damwon eventually to go over top esports or JD, I think you could go any of those directions. But based on analysts and everything, you have Knight here, you have Jackie Love here, so top esports seems to be favored. You have the former world champion Jackie Love. You have the best mid laner in the tournament, arguably, with top esports as well. You think? Okay, so someone said they think Suning will beat JD. Okay. So I'm basing this solely off of LPL kind of performance. So JD has shown they are stronger than Suning. Like they are clear top 2 team, JD, in LPL. So based on that, I think they'll beat Suning. I can see it's best of 5, I'm pretty sure. We could take a look, I guess. Quarterfinals, Worlds. I'm pretty sure it's best of 5. Like, almost certain. Main event, no. Knockout stage. Masters are best of 5. Yeah. Okay. A lot of people here are promoting Suning. I have not, okay. So again, LPL performance. JD was stronger than Suning. They are a clear number 2 in their region. How did I do for my group? I did okay. Like I got all the 1 and 2s, 3 and 4s correct. It's just that Suning beat G2, Talon beat Rogue, LGD beat TSM. I got all Group D right. So, yeah. Okay. So, again, LPL performance shows me that JD should beat Suning. I can see that maybe, you know, based on their growing performance, Suning, maybe they've learned and become stronger. I think Suning has definitely improved since LPL compared to JD, but based on LPL, you know, the matches that we've seen them go head to head, JD should win. So, you know, Suning is a new team. So maybe that inexperience might affect them, but, you know, I think it's very likely JD wins this. I could be wrong, you know. Of course, I could be wrong this whole thing. Maybe EU just sleeps everything. I think that's very unlikely, but yeah. Okay, well, so Fnatic, they seem to have done very well this year. I'll say I'm very happy with how they looked. But I haven't really been impressed with them. You know, when you look at EU, they got 3-0'd in the EU finals. So I don't think they're that strong, but I do think they don't look bad. But I don't think they match up to like any team. I think if they hit any team here, they would have lost. I don't think Fnatic beats any other team here. Gen.g versus G2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a spicy take. I mean, okay, so someone, yeah, I've been asked this already. Okay, to me, based on history of the past, you know, year in competitive, G2 seems to match up nicely against LCK teams. Genji is also the third team in LCK. They're not, so they're weaker than these two over here. Genji also, I don't think they performed that well in their group. They seem to have some struggles, and their group was pretty weak. You know, TSM and what's the other team there? TSM and LGD. Actually, LGD was good, but TSM really weak. LGD okay, but Genji seemed to have some struggles in that group, so I don't think they look that great. G2 arguably, I think they match up better into Genji. That's just my opinion. I think G2 matches up nicely into them, and based on history, they should be good. Even though they match up well against LCK, I don't think they match up well enough. I don't think they've proven that they are that good, because against Suning, they lost against Suning, right? And Suning is the third best team. Who did Genji lose to? I'm gonna guess it was. I think it was Fnatic once, but let's schedule. Let's take a look. It's Did they win all their games here? Yeah, they won all their games. Is this a tiebreaker? No. They lost against Fnatic. Yeah, okay. They lost against Fnatic. So, I thought, I would have assumed it was one of the other ones, but they lost one game against Fnatic. So there kind of shows that, again, they have that weakness against an EU team. You know, they went 50-50 against an EU team, so, you know, maybe. So, you know, it could be close, but G2 is better than Fnatic, right? And in best of fives, you know, everyone says G2 is a best of 5 team. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it to G2 over Genji. Okay, a lot of chat happening here. I like the whole meta will change. I agree with that. I do not think G2 is that comfortable with the meta, because it is very top heavy, like solo laner and jungle carry kind of meta. and what's his name? The jungler for G2, I forget his name right now. He does not really play carry jungles that well in against competitive teams. You know, if they're in EU, of course he can play these competitive junglers against their weaker teams, but against these really strong teams, he tends to get punished a little more. Depends how he plays. Like there's sometimes, you know, in some of those matches, you know, he was being really aggressive and his team was backing up, but on the other hand, you know, sometimes the other team was being better at that. So, you know, it's kind of a 50-50 there. It's not he's not, you know, guaranteed like some of these other ones are. Okay, what are some other comments here? I missed that. Thanks for the pics. Yeah, okay, thanks for subbing. Yeah, sure. If DRX wins the damn okay, I can't repeat that. Yeah, that's very unlikely. Like Damwon smashed DRX in the LCK finals, right? So it's very unlikely DRX would win that. Like that's and DRX did not look strong so far. In their group, what was DRX's group? Okay, they did okay. Right. They beat these two up. So they just beat really weak teams, right? DRX has not really showed anything exceptional. They've just showed that they're really bad there. They just showed that they can beat bad teams, right? That's kind of what their LCK kind of run was. They're good enough again. They beat everyone weaker than them, right? So yeah, guys in chat, what do you think has? What did I get? Okay. Oh, you're asking about the final? Yeah, I think this could go anyway. So a lot of people are rejoining here, so I'll go over things a little bit. Yeah, so top definitely beating Fnatic. I think Fnatic is weaker than every other team here. Top is also like tournament favorites. Suning, JD. I've seen people surprisingly say they think Suning's gonna win. Remember, JD is the number 2 team from the LPL. Although Suning did make it out of their group in first, Genji did prove in the LPL that they are the stronger team. You know, maybe Suning has improved since then, but JD, LPL, they proved that they are better than Suning. Genji, G2. I mean, I've seen people go either way. G2, I just have going over because G2 historically matches up better against LCK teams. Genji also, they had a kind of a weak group, so they haven't really proved to me that they can beat G2. G2 also, they're kind of known for being stronger in these best of fives, so I'll give it to G2, but yeah, sure, Genji, maybe. Damwon over DRX, 100, like, this is the one that's probably 100%. I mean, I guess Fnatic winning that is a little more of an upset, but Damwon, right, they smashed DRX already in the LCK finals, shouldn't see any change there. Okay. LPL, this is the LPL final right here. Just a rematch of that. So it could go either way because they both showed that they were evenly matched. So I'm giving it to top because, you know, that's what happened in the LPL final. Of course, you know, it could go the other way. Like, you could do this, I guess, or this. But I'm going to go this. Yeah, because this is just what happened in the LPL final. So I think the same thing will happen again. And I'm a bigger fan of Knight and Jackie Love than I am of JD, right? So, yeah. Over here, G2 Damwon. I know, like I said, G2 does match up nicely into LCK teams, but Damwon have just shown they are very strong compared to any other LCK team. G2 also hasn't really shown me that they're that strong right now. They seem a lot weaker than they have in the past. Also, the meta doesn't fit G2, so Damwon seems to be better there. All right, final. If you choose JD or top, either way, sure. Top versus Damwon, I think it could go either way. This is more of a 50-50 for me than anything else, maybe 60-40. I'm going top because over the past few years, LPL has been stronger than LCK. That's about it. But, Damwon, they have been known to be scrim gods for the past 2 years. They've been showing up for the past 2 years, well, for the past year. And so if you choose Damwon, that's fine, right? I'm going to go top esports because LPL has been dominant for the past 3 years, basically. So that's just my preference. I think Damwon is very solid pick, though. So this, who else? What are some comments? Because I've been missing. You put Damwon beating. Yeah, I think Damwon winning is very possible. Like I said, so everyone is scared of Damwon. Like apparently teams are scared of scrimming Damwon because that's how good they are in scrims, that they don't want to be demoralized. So yes, Damwon is very terrifying and good. Other fun facts to note, I watched some videos analyzing how they allocate gold, right? Damwon is like, they allocate all their gold top side. So top, jungle, and mid all have gold advantages when they play Damwon. But top, they sacrifice jungle gold to get their laners ahead. Damwon, I guess they sacrifice their bot lane. That's fine. Okay. Let's see here. Only difference I have is Genji. Yeah, that's fine. Can I dive deeper into Suning versus JD? Okay. So if you weren't here before, I'll just repeat kind of what I've been saying. So in the LPL, that I'm just using LPL history here. JD has shown they are a top 2 team in the LPL. And so they should beat Suning based on that. Suning, they came out first in their group, but JD is still the top 2 team of the LPL, and JD, they lost to the favorites of the whole tournament. Not really, sorry. They lost to Damwon, which are also possibly the favorites of the whole tournament. But, so JD losing to Damwon doesn't really show me that they're immediately worse than Suning, right? Based on LPL history, JD should win. That's my main idea here. Suning also had some struggles against G2, right? So yeah, I'm JD fevered. I understand if people think Suning has leveled up since LPL, but I don't think that's the case. I will say I think JD so far has looked a little weaker than they have in LPL, but I don't think that gap has been closed. I think JD still has a very big gap ahead of Suning, ahead of like the other LPL teams. Outside of top, of course. Top is it's top JD, like, okay, so it's like top and JD are like very close to each other, and then the other LPL teams are like way down. That's my kind of vision of LPL. But I mean, Suning has definitely performed a lot better since LPL, because they've beaten all these other teams. Yeah. I'm losing my voice here. All right. Any other comments, questions you'd like me to go over? I think I'm pretty clear here. I mean, if you want to be crazy and say Fnatic G2 make it to the final, you're a madman. But that's up to you. If you want the shittiest bracket ever, I could do that on the side, because, okay, so fun little fact is that if you look at, the leaderboards, right? So few people have scored 0 points compared to getting perfect. Right? There's a lot of people that are still perfect, and there's so few that have got 0. But odds are it's a lot easier to get 0 than it is to get everything right. So I was joking, if I should have loaded up a Smurf and made just an inting bracket where I got everything absolutely wrong. Um, I did, I could post on Reddit. Look, I got 0, guys. Look how impressive I am. G2 better than Gen.g. Okay, so someone has. Oh, in the end. So first I'll talk about that. So Suiting has leveled up, yes, but still, yeah. So, yeah, I think Suiting has definitely leveled up since LPL, but I don't think they've matched this gap that JD has above them. Someone's asked me about Gen.g over G2 again. So G2 historically has matched up very well into LPL teams. Gen.g also, they generally had a very easy group. Like they beat the weak teams. That's all Genji has shown me. They're better than weak teams. And then they went even with Fnatic, right? So if they go even with Fnatic, who lost 3-0 in the finals to G2, G2 is better than Fnatic, so that shows me G2 is better than Genji that way. G2 is better than a team that Genji goes 50-50 against. Also, historically, G2 matches up good into LCK teams. Also, like I said, Genji is just beaten weak teams. They haven't really beaten good teams, right? Remember, LCK, this is their 3rd seed. This isn't their 2nd or 1st seed, so they're a little weaker than the teams down here. Yeah. If somehow we had DRX versus G2, that would be interesting. If somehow we had Fnatic versus Suning, that would have been interesting. But, I think quarterfinal are pretty fair. I know people are like Suning and Genji maybes, but I think in terms of G2 getting out, this is like the best option for G2. I can't really say there's any other like weird ones. I guess like, yeah, Genji, JD, I guess, is kind of a surprise because they're a 2nd seed, but eh. Do I think Damwon has a chance of beating Top? Absolutely. I absolutely think Damwon has a chance of beating Top because, in the past 2 years we've heard Damwon has been scrim gods and they just have to show up, right? They're showing up now. They have shown me to be very impressive. The way they allocate gold is very impressive compared to Top, so I think it's very possible. But historically, LPL beats LCK, so Top is what I'm going for. I think it's like 60-40, in my opinion, for Top to go over. Okay, next we have, can I give my breakdown on G2 versus Damwon? Okay. Whew, a lot of things here. Damwon, I think, again, they are basically 2nd tournament favorites. I know before I said G2 matches up well into LCK, but the Damwon looks stronger than like anyone in LCK, like basically ever right now. They're the strongest LCK team, period. G2 looked very shaky in group stage. The meta does not favor G2 because, just a G2 jungler, what is his name? Jankos. Okay, Jankos. Jankos does not seem to play this meta very well, just because it's carry junglers, and he can punish weak teams with carry junglers, but I don't think he can punish good teams, like very strong teams with carry junglers. So I don't think the meta favors G2. I think Damwon is just way above any other LCK team. So yeah, I think this is the finals is literally the best 2 teams in the tournament. I know sometimes at Worlds that does not happen because there's no loser bracket and all that. I think this is absolutely the best 2 teams in Worlds. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully Flyboy, that answers your question on G2. Jankos is the weakest player in G2. I don't think Jankos is the weakest player in G2. I just think the meta doesn't fit him. I think G2, Perks and Jensen, they are very champion specific, very meta specific players, and I don't think the meta really benefits either Jankos or Perks. Yeah. Okay. Damwon has proved to be a better team than G2. Um, from what we've seen, we haven't seen them head to head, of course, but yes, Damwon plays the meta. I think Damwon plays this meta better than anyone else at the tournament, because their jungler carries Ta very, very well. Damwon's bot side is their weakest side, but that is not how the meta is being played right now. Do I do regular live streams about League? Unfortunately, no. I'm not streaming much right now. I just tend to do like weird, whatever. I kind of just do whatever I feel like. So yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll go back. So do I miss it? Can I do a short recap on JD and Soon? Short recap. LPL. This is the second seed. This is the third seed. Second seed should beat third seed. If you want a little more than that. JD has beaten. The JD has proven themselves to be a very strong team at Worlds. Their only losses are against the second best team at Worlds, basically. Suning had some struggles against G2. And JD has also shown themselves to be the top two, top two of their region. Suning is still lower than JD. Yeah. So Suning is definitely weaker than JD, in my opinion. I do think Suning has leveled up since LPL has finished, but I don't think they've reached the level that JD and top esports have met. Okay. Hopefully that Triaton. I hope that answers your question. Okay. If you don't mind, I'll get something to drink and then I'll be right back. I'm losing my voice. Okay. And in fact, G2 is not very consistent. No, they aren't. I mean, sure, people say, oh, they had a for fun game and all that, but I mean, that's, yeah, whatever. I'm a big fan of G2. Look, if G2 proves me wrong and wins this whole thing, I will be very happy, right? I don't care about getting the perfect bracket or anything, but yeah. Spruke is a true LC fan. Yeah, if this happens and we get Caps versus Showmaker, that'd be great. I'm very excited if this happens to see Showmaker versus Knight, of course. Okay, so the problem right now is in Worlds, I don't think I'm seeing too many 1v1s in the mid lane. It's a lot of like this jungler interaction and team fight kind of thing. So we'll see. It's not really like a 1v1 showcase. I think so far, maybe top lane has been the most 1v1 showcase. Yeah. Okay. Someone told me no way G2 is better than Gen.g. Okay, if you want to go Gen.g first, but to me, out of these two, I have not seen anything that tells me G2 cannot beat Gen.g, right? Because G2 historically is better than LCK teams. Gen.g went 50-50 against Fnatic. G2 100% 3-0'd Fnatic. So if G2 can 3-0 Fnatic and Gen.g goes 50-50 against Fnatic, well, G2 should be better than Gen.g, right? There's I like if I go into more specifics and analyze this more, maybe there's some situations that Gen.g win. I do think Gen.g, they haven't really shown me anything special. They just beat teams that are weaker than them. They went 50-50 versus Fnatic. They slammed TSM. Wow. And then they slammed LGD, right? That's kind of expected of Gen.g, right? So far, yeah, they are the third team in LCK. G2 matches up well against LCK, so I think G2 wins that. Okay. Based on MSI, they could win. Do you mean last year? Yeah, because there's no MSI this year, right? I mean, you could. I think even based on so MSI was last year. Worlds happened after that, but G2 still made it to the final. They still beat SKT in the semi-final last year, right? So I think, uh, yeah. Someone said, "Test, this is right." I think Dam1 has a good chance as well, but historically, yeah, Test is better. Yeah, let's hang out. Yeah, I'll just leave it. The stream is doing well, so I'll leave it alone. Let me take a look at something. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I won't need to do anything. Okay. Yeah, I'm here for any questions if you want anything. Here, I'll make a really shitty bracket to bait anyone coming in. So Fnatic, Suning. Actually, that's not that bad, but I'll go second seed every time. How's that? Second seed every time. That's the worst team. That's technically the worst team out of those two. Yikes. There you go. This is the shitty bracket. That's impossible. This is the 0 point bracket. All right. I mean, there's a chance if you want absolutely 0 points. Zero point bracket. That's the 0 point bracket. All right. Let me fix it because I do not want to stare at the 0 point bracket. Oh my god. All right. No, we're not looking at the 0 point bracket anymore. All right. I cannot look at that. Oh, that's so bad. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. I cannot do that. All right, let me know of any matchups you want me to go over again. I think I've talked pretty in depth about everything though. But yeah. I mean, because people are still here, I'll go back to group stage and talk about the top two teams a little bit. Yeah, Lulu is becoming. I think Lulu will be is going to be quite a power pick throughout this event. She can be flex top, and she can be put in support as well. So I think Lulu will be quite a strong pick going forward. Yes. Okay. So here's how my group stage went, because some people want to look at that, see if I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I generally just kind of went for best teams. Nothing was too surprising. I'll just talk about the best teams really quick though. Rogue and TSM really disappointed. I'll say that. G2 Suning. Okay, so Suning G2 had close matchups. Really kind of worries me about G2. Really impresses me about Suning, but I don't think they match up well against JD. Dam1 has really impressed me. JD has definitely underperformed, I think, but again, they just smashed the weak teams, so I think they're still okay. Genji, they haven't really, even though they're first, I don't think they've shown anything that they can. They just went even against Fnatic, but they slammed these two teams. Fnatic, I think Fnatic has shown me they're a little better than I expected, but not really anything special. There's no way that they beat Top. Top has shown me to be very impressive outside of their one FlyQuest game. DRX, I wouldn't say they've impressed me or anything, but they look strong. Out of these teams, out of these 8 teams, okay, sorry. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back and read these comments. Okay, sorry, I missed your comment before. So out of these, who do I think is the weakest? Weakest, Fnatic, for sure. I do not think Fnatic could beat any of these teams. Maybe in a best of 5. I mean, they did go 50-50 against Genji. So, maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. They do, EU does get better at this stage of the game, but I think Fnatic's probably the worst team. It's hard to say because we haven't seen these head-to-head teams, right? Because a lot of these teams have just smashed really bad teams, and then that's all you need to do to make it out, right? Um, all out of these teams, Fnatic, Suning, um, Genji, DRX have shown struggles. So, I guess it's a little hard to say which is the weakest. Maybe I'm underrating Fnatic. I probably am, but I think Fnatic would lose against all these teams, and I think I'm underrating them, but it's hard to say. If Fnatic did go 50-50 against Genji, so there's a scenario that Fnatic is better than Suning and better than Genji, but yeah, I think JD is better than Suning. I think DRX is better than Genji over there. So yeah, I think Fnatic's the worst team. I think Top and Damwon have shown me they're the best two teams at Worlds by far. Yeah. Yeah. Who do I think is Fnatic's weakest link? That is hard. Their team is maybe their mid laner. Of course, you can copy my pick'ems. There's nothing. I mean, this is probably the most easiest pick'em to go off of. I mean, I guess you could go first place on everything. What does first place everything look like? It goes Genji, Suning. Let me just briefly look at this. This is not what my bracket looks like, but if you go first place everything, I go based off win-loss record. All right. Oh, that's close. That's close. But Damwon is definitely better. And then it's okay. That I think win-loss record. That's what you'd end up with. But this is my preference here. Just double check. Okay. Bwipo. Okay. So Bwipo, he is a solo queue god. The problem is I think he plays too aggressively for his own good. That's the problem with Bwipo. I think he is a very good player, but I think he plays too aggressively for his own good. Yeah. I'm not too heavy into the scene, but can you explain again? Okay, so G2 Genji. What another time? Okay, so G2 historically performs very well into LPL teams. Genji is the third place LPL team. G2, what else? G2 has 3-0'd Fnatic in their region. Fnatic, Genji went 50-50. So, by that logic, G2 should win that. Genji has also shown me that they can beat weak teams, but then they go 50-50 against strong teams. G2 has shown me I don't know if I could say I'm too impressed by G2, but I don't think I've been impressed by Genji. Okay. Can I explain why I think Genji can beat Suning? Okay. Sorry. I keep saying this is Genji. Sorry. JDG. Okay. So JDG is the second team in the LPL. Suning is the third team in the LPL. That's probably the simplest reason. If you want a little more, well, JD and Top Esports had a competitive best of 5 match in the LPL. Suning struggled in the LPL a bit to get to Worlds. JD has beaten the weak teams, and they struggle against one of the top teams in the tournament. Suning has struggled against G2. And they struggle. Didn't they struggle? Didn't they lose against TL2? I think so. So, yeah, Suning has struggles. JD is clearly top 2 team in LPL. Okay, hopefully those answer Todiasai and Fanako's questions. Prime Huni or Prime Whippo? Prime Huni for sure, because Huni, hui. He's a fun guy, but Prime Huni also is you know, he made it to the finals with SKT. Um, I mean, I guess you could say, you know, Bwipo has been in the finals too, but at the same time, they got 3-0'd in the, or they got 3-1'd. Yeah. So, Huni, worldwide, everywhere, you know, Huni would be valued in any region. Bwipo is limited to Western teams, right? So, I mean, there's depends what kind of arguments. All right. Do I think these predictions will be correct? Yes. I don't really have much to say. I think this is the easiest guess kind of bracket. I mean, some people like Suning and Genji, but I don't see it. And also Damwon has a very good chance as well. What do I think? Could Faker replace either Damwon or top mid laners? Okay. So I will say I saw this. LS, one of the commentators and analysts for LCK, still thinks Faker has the best mechanics, I think, in the world, is his thoughts. The thing is, I think Faker does not trust his teammates. I think he is looking all around the map, seeing everything going on, trying to micromanage everything going on. I think Top and Damwon, they believe in their team and they work very well with their team. So mechanically, yes. Team-wise, no. That's what I think about Faker and those two teams. Also, language could be an issue for Top, of course. But so if you're just looking at Damwon, maybe. But Showmaker and Knight are extremely good mid laners, and I think they work better with their team. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Any other questions here? I guess I'll look back at them. I want to look back at this because so again, G2 has underwhelmed me. Suning has impressed me. Could I give a rundown of all lanes? That's gonna be tough. That's gonna take a while. I think that would take too long. Do we have their... How do I look at teams on here? Is there a way I could look at individual teams on here? Let me see. Top kick. Why G2 over Gen.g? Again, I'll repeat this. G2 historically matches up well into LCK teams. This is the third place LCK team. So that way they're ahead. G2 also 3-0'd Fnatic in their LEC final. Genji has so far showed that they go 50-50 against Fnatic. So by that, G2 is also favored. Genji also hasn't really impressed me too much. They just beat really bad teams so far, right? They beat LGD, not that bad, but they beat TSM, which is awful. G2, they had competitive matches against Suning. So the main reasons are that G2 has 3-0'd Fnatic, Genji went 50-50, and G2 also has a better record against LCK teams in general. Oh, thanks, Pog. All right, let's do that. So let's go top to bottom. If I click this, does it do that? All right, top. I like when I go into individual, it's very hard. I'm very biased and all that kind of thing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. Who's there? I can't tell which ones there's some, to be honest. Top. This is showing my my weakness here. This is sub top. Are they just running both? I don't. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell. I'm just gonna talk about the players I know. How's that? That works. Knight. People have said he's the best player in the world. Sure. So, yeah, he lines up really well. Showmaker's probably the second best. Cap's third. Okay, let's go back here. Top Esports and JD in the LPL final. It ends 3-2 for Top. It was a close match. Do I think Top will win again? Yeah, okay. So, to me, that's basically the knowledge I'm using to decide this. Top won before, so they should win again. If you chose JD here, I don't think you'd be incorrect, but I don't think I think Top is still favored to win. Also, this Worlds, JD has shown weakness against Damwon. Top hasn't really shown much weakness. I guess they lost against Fly. That should be a problem actually, but I think Top is still favored, and I also like Jackie Love, and I like Knight more, so that's my preference. If you chose JD, I don't think that's wrong, but I think Top is still favored. Why Top over Damwon? Damwon looking very strong. I do agree with you. Damwon does look very, very strong. So I think it's 60-40 for Top Esports to win. Damwon, I have nothing against them. It's just that, LPL historically beats... sorry, it's just, yeah, so I blanked out there, sorry. It's just LPL historically for the past 3 years has been dominant, so why won't they continue to be dominant? Damwon, also their region looks really weak outside of them. Damwon looks very, very strong, but the rest of the region looks kind of weak. So I do think Damwon is possibly the best LCK team to be produced currently, but I still, based on the current past 3 years, why should Top Esports be anything different, right? Okay. If I could make an all-star team, theoretically, okay. If JD beats Top, do I think Damwon wins? Yes, because Damwon beat JD in the group stage, so yeah. Well, did they go 50-50? I kind of forget. His standings. Let's see. Where is this? Dude. Yeah, they went 50-50, I guess. So. It'll be close. I think Damwon would win, but it'll be close. The way Damwon manages their gold is very, very impressive. They're the most gold efficient team at Worlds, I think, Damwon. Because the way they play their lanes and their jungler, they don't lose gold except in bot side, and bot side is not very important in the meta. So I think Damwon is very impressive. Again, I'm going back for this. Okay. Theoretically then, if we answered that. I feel like Top are gonna win. Yeah, that's what I have. Can there be any surprises? I mean, of course there can be. I mean, I look, if G2 shows up, Jensen learns the meta of a story. Is it Jensen? Not Jensen. Sorry. How do I pronounce his name? G2 Jankos. When I start if Jankos learns the meta, sure, maybe they pull it out. I don't think I cannot see. I honestly I don't think G2 can beat whatever LPL team comes out here. I don't think G2 beats whatever LPL team comes out. Look, like I said before, G2 does historically match up well into LCK teams, but right now Damwon look way too good, and G2 have not impressed me. But Historically, sure. G2, maybe. But I don't think there's anything that shows me that G2 can win in the finals. No, no, no. There's no. There's. Oh, Genji. Ah, okay. Okay. Historically, G2 matches up well into LCK teams. Genji is the third place LCK team. So G2 should win there. The other thing is, in the LEC finals, G2 was 3-0 against Fnatic. Genji, however, went 50-50 against Fnatic. So based on those kind of stats there, G2 should win. Also, Genji hasn't really shown me to be very impressive. They just shit on TSM. G2, they haven't. G2 hasn't impressed me either. Okay, so if you do this, I go maybe. I think this is closer than I might be letting on. I think this might be like 65-35 for G2. But I do think G2 is still favored. Let me talk about some of the stats here. I think top wins against Fnatic like 90 to 10%, maybe 80-20. Suning JD Gaming, I think this is a 70% for 30%. G2 versus Gen.g, as I said, I think it's maybe 65-35, maybe 60-40. Damwon DRX, I think this is a 70% chance. I won't use the other end. You can do the math yourself. Top versus JD, I think this is very close. I think this is a 50-50. Maybe 60-40. Yeah, I'll say 60-40 just because I'm a little biased towards top esports. So I'm going to go say 60-40. It's probably more of a 50-50. Damwon versus G2, I'm going to say 70% here. And then top esports versus Damwon, if that happens, I think 60% chance. Okay. It doesn't make sense. Can you explain Suning versus JD? Okay. The simplest version, JDG. Top 2 team in LPL, Suning, they're the 3rd seed. So based on seed, JD should win. Also based on the actual, matchups, JD has shown to be much stronger than any other LPL team outside of top esports. Suning hasn't really been that impressive so far. I mean, JD hasn't really been that impressive either, but Suning hasn't really shown me that they can beat JD at this point. JD also is like much higher above the other LPL teams. I do think Suning has improved, but I don't think they've improved enough to beat JD. SOFM. Yes, I do think the meta fits SOFM very, very, very well. That is true. I won't put that against you at all. JD also Kanavi, so their top side's pretty scary. So I don't know. It's hard. I guess SOFM could show up. SOFM does look very scary, especially that in Italy. Damwon looks stronger than Test in my opinion. Yeah, if you chose this, sure. I just think it's 60-40 for top. I think historically, right, LPL is stronger than the LCK. That's kind of what I'm going off of. But if you chose Damwon, I don't think you're wrong. All right. Can we change the picks of semifinals after quarterfinals? No. These are locked in once. They lock in 3 days. Once this starts, locked in. You cannot change. Once, whatever the first match is, I'm assuming it's this match. Let's actually just take a look at the schedule. Yes. So once Damwon versus DRX starts, locked in, you cannot change. I think it probably locks in before that, but it locks in exactly 3 days and 6 hours. Okay, why Tess over Damwon Gaming? Okay, let's go over that. So top, just historically, LPL is stronger than the LCK. Technically, Damwon went 50-50 against JD. You know, top is technically just as good as JD, if not better. So, you know, this is 60-40 in my position. I'm just going based off history at this point. I will say this that I've said multiple times already. Damwon is the most. I think they're the most gold efficient team at Worlds. So, and they're very scary. But history tells me top. Why G2? I think you're asking me about why G2 over Genji. Basically, they match up very well into Genji in terms of G2 matches up well into LCK teams. Also, they beat Fnatic 3 times. Genji beat Fnatic 1 time. That's the bad version. G2 has beat Fnatic 3-0 in the LEC finals. Genji went 50-50 against Fnatic 1-1. So, yes. So if Genji goes 50-50 against the second best EU team, the first place EU team should be stronger. Okay. Fnatic will win out here we go. Here's the EU fans. Fnatic will win out very easily and beat G2 in the finals. Okay, that's the take. That's the one. Whoo! That's the one right there. Euphoria. Baby. You know what? Maybe I'm just a salty NA fan, all right? Maybe I'm a salty NA fan, and I will go, hey man, why did G2 not beat Suning, man? Why didn't G2 carry us to the next round? Why did TSM go 0-9? You know, I don't 0-6. Sorry. Yeah, like, and then as this person said, yeah, G2 3-0'd the LEC. So they 3-0'd Fnatic. Genji went 50-50 against Fnatic. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't know if that person's still here. Can I check who's in the chat? I don't think so. Participants. Yeah, that person left, so that's fine. Someone asked me to go over like matchups and all that. I don't know. If I had to choose, I don't know. I'd probably just I wouldn't really make a super team. I'd just choose, you know, best players out of Damwon or best players out of top. I just wanted to know your opinion. Yeah. That's. I think I said why. Yeah, I said G2 has matchups very well into Genji because, you know, first seed EU versus third seed Korea. They've also 3-0'd Fnatic and Genji, yeah. Went 50-50. Okay. NA had hard matchups this year. Look, I do not think TSM had a hard matchup, okay? Maybe, but like that's going 0-6 is real bad. I think Fly and Team Liquid looked very good. They were basically like 1 wins out of making it out, so that's fine. Look, if NA made it to quarterfinals, they would lose immediately. Like I don't like. Sure, I'm happy with how they did in groups. I do not want to. I don't care if an NA team makes it to quarterfinals because they're gonna lose right away. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. I gotta go back and read some of this chat. Yeah, I'm happy to give my opinion. I don't think NA had that many hard. Sure, but that just means everyone is good, right? Nope. Damwon are a really strong team. I think they might win Worlds. Yeah, if you had Damwon over top at the end here, I think that's absolutely fine. Let me zoom out actually so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, I think that's fine. As I've said, Damwon is the best. I think they're the best at managing their gold. I just think based on history, you know, LPL have dominated the world for like the last 3 years. I don't think that's changing. I'm pulling facts out and I kind of trust you. Well, thank you. Chovy DRX on Galio was crazy. Was that today? Oh my. Oh yeah, that was today still. Yeah, DRX. Okay. Yeah, DRX still look good, but it's just that Damwon is so good compared to all the other LPL teams. I do not have 100%. My were like this, so like I got third and fourth wrong, first and second wrong, third and fourth. So like I figured out all the groups that were making it out and all the teams that weren't. It's just I got the specifics mixed up. For here, I'm thinking, oh, it's first seed versus third seed. First seed should win. Of course, that's not what happened. Over here, I think Rogue just shit the bed. Like, I do not think. I think Rogue really disappointed. Like, there's no way they should not have beaten Talon because Talon, they were practicing with basically a new team. Let's see. TSM really underperformed. Play-in team over here. And then I perfect this one. Yay, me! I think people really underrate FlyQuest, man. Like, they're the second best team in NA, right? They're second seed, right? There's no way they should go below Unicorns of Love. All right, let's go back to my pick'em knockout stage. Sorry, let's go over my comments here. Damn, wanna really test one mid-season cup? Yeah, I don't remember mid-season cup. Mid-season cup. Let's take a look at that. Actually, that's actually very interesting. Results. So what happened here? What is this? What does that even mean? What? What? What does this even mean? I can't read. What the? I don't know what this means. Is it lower? Yeah, I don't. Results. Yeah, I can't read this to save my life. Oh, first. Okay, top. Yeah, top one. Yeah, okay. There you go. Wow, yeah. LPL dominated. Holy moly. Okay, yep. So yeah, why would that change? Okay. Okay, what else did I miss here? Statistics, yes. Yes. I still missed C9 3 years ago. Sure. With sneaky and everything? Sure. Do I have 100%? No, we already showed that. YG2. Okay, sorry, I missed your thing. YG2. Okay, this is the one that I always get questioned about. G2 has favorable history. I'll say history, okay? Against LCK teams. They are the top seed in EU versus the third seed in Korea. The other thing here is G2 in the finals of the LEC 3-0'd Fnatic. Genji, however, has gone 50-50 against Fnatic. So that's kind of my logic there. G2 also, they are known to improve in the knockout stage here. Genji, however, has not really shown me very much anything impressive. Again, like I said, they beat bad teams and then they went 50-50 versus Fnatic. That's not very impressive. Okay. Sure. I will be right back. If anyone has any questions, put that in. I have to help with groceries. Okay. Oh my. Hello, hello, hello. I came back. Why'd you do thanks? Everyone's still there? Okay, bye. Nice pics, bro. Thanks. I'm kind of scared of G2 and Per. Oh, you mean for them? Yeah, they're kind of... I think Perks has some good games, but I don't think the meta fits Jankos and Perks. I think they're good, but the meta doesn't fit them. G2 need caps. I think generally they get caps more than craps these days. I still like Fan better than G2. I don't really... Oh, Fnatic. I get... Okay. You mean... Do you mean you like them more, or do you mean you think Fnatic's better than G2? Okay. So even though I've been really saying, you know, G2 3-0'd Fnatic, remember before that they did go to 5 games before that, but I mean maybe G2 figured them out. Fnatic have historically been known to mental boom a little bit, so they've recovered well though. Originally in my pick'ems, I had Fnatic like 3rd or 4th because I was like their mental boomed out of after being 3-0'd. But I know that's not the case. I fixed my brain and realized that's an idiot. There's a rumor going around that Riot will have play on for playoffs. Oh, I see. Of course, Ty, of course. That's exactly what'll happen. How'd you know? Why is that not an option on my bracket? Okay. Yes. G2 can pop off. Sure. I mean, I'm not even saying that. All I'm saying is JD has, you know, their LPL 2nd seed, Suning is the 3rd seed, and JD went 50-50 against Damwon. Suning has shown struggles against G2, right? So based on all those results, JD should win. I will say Suning look a lot stronger than they did in the LPL, and JD has looked a little weaker than the LPL final, but I don't think that gap has been closed between those two teams. Okay. If you want to look at the mid-season cup, LPL demolished that, so maybe that'll be the case here. Was Damwon there? Yeah, Damwon was there. How'd they do? They didn't do that good. That kind of worries me. Maybe they've improved since then. I mean, the meta does fit them better, but I think this is a fair bet. Okay. I'm just chilling out here. Let's open this. In 2 days, I think.
On a Tuesday, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah.
Just the one day, yeah.
Well, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the sale won't show up until Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
I think so, yeah. Okay. My family's here now. Okay. Yeah, people are leaving, so okay, last minute. Any last minute questions? Otherwise, stream is going bye-bye. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and maybe you can comment any other content you'd like to see. Yeah, but this bracket is pretty much the simplest one, the easiest predictable one. Again, I think the most likely scenarios that change are that JD can possibly beat top and that Damwon can win. Those are my... I'm not saying in this scenario that. I'm saying that possibly this could be the scenario too. I think this is close to a 50-50, and I think this is close to a 50-50. You know, I think, well, I'm saying this is 60% top win, and I'm saying 50-50 here. I'm just going 50-50. I'm top to lose to fly, you know, so 50-50 is what I'm going there. All right. Okay. I think I'm turning off the stream here. Thanks so much for anyone that commented and anyone that came by. So, yeah, we'll see you around. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe and all that. Yeah, I think Suning is better than JD Gaming. Okay, so I'll say this again. That's. I guess I'll try zooming in again. It's hard to fit all this in here though if I zoom in. Okay. Suning is the 3rd seed. JD is the 2nd seed. Suning has definitely improved since LPL, but JD and Top Esports were very clearly the 2nd team. All right. See you all. I just wanted to say that because someone said they think Suning's better. So in my opinion, no, but you know, Suning has improved. Okay. What the hell? That's a really out of date meme. Okay. Nah, everyone, you're free to go. I'm just, you know, I teach on the side. I'm used to sticking around to see if there's any questions. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have more, but we'll go. How do you save? As long as you change it, it'll save. And you'd have to be logged in. See, if I change it here, it says saving in the bottom right. There you go. Oh yeah, best of luck to all of you with your pick'ems as well. Okay. I mean, I'm happy if you sub, but I have quite a mix mash of content here. Because I just kind of do whatever I want on my channel, so it's like 30% League content. Greetings from Argentina. Well, hello to you. I'm from Canada. Do you think Suning has a chance to win versus JD? Personally, no. I think it's like 70% that JD wins that. Look, none of these things are 100%, right? Even though I think Fnatic's the worst and I underrate them, I don't think that's 100%, right? I think that's like 90% top wins or 80. I'm going to go 80. I'm going to be nice. 80% top wins. I think JD winning this is 70%. I think G2 winning this is, I'll say 60%. Dam1 winning this, that one's 80. Dam1 winning here is probably 70%. Top winning here, I think this one's the 50-50. I think this is the closest one here. Maybe 60. Here, 60%. So, you know, I don't think anything is 100% certainty, right? Of course, upsets can happen, but I think this is the most likely kind of bracket. Given they're in a bubble and there's no fans and all that, that makes things a little more likely, right? I think only the finals are gonna have fans, and so maybe that'll play a role and affect them because both of these teams are very used to playing in a bubble too, right? You know, if somehow G2 sneaks through, and then there's fans in the World Championship, and then the fans freak out this team, maybe G2 wins, but that's a very crazy scenario. That's an absurd scenario. All right. Yes. All right. I think I've covered everything. I'm gonna look over. I've been streaming quite a while, so it's gonna be very hard for someone to look back at this, but that's okay. I don't think anyone will really look back at this. Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for viewing this or liking and subscribing. Again, if you do end up liking and subscribing, my content is quite all over the place. Not a chance. I am I am platinum. I have been diamond, but it's been quite a few seasons. Being diamond takes a lot of effort for me. I'm not that good at the game. My mechanics are quite bad. I took time off one season, and so my mechanics are bad. I get too nervous when I play. So if I'm in a team fight, I shake and I cannot click correctly anymore. There was a time I was diamond, but my mechanics were good, but that's no longer the case. Too nervous. um, I get good things in other games, like I'm legend in Hearthstone, and I've been masters in TFT, but that's eh. What role do I play? Um, I've kind of taken a break at the end of the season because they're gonna reset here. But I generally play top. That is where I got diamond in. I play some support just because I really don't like long queues. So if there wasn't long queues, I would play mid because mid is fun. But I want to queue and then get into game as fast as possible. So I play top and support sometimes. Yeah, that's basically it. I like that top can sometimes be an island and I can do whatever I want. But this season I found success with Shen and just alting teammates. So yeah, season 4 or silver 4. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. I mean, what is it? I think silver. I don't know the percentages, but yeah, that's still good. Do things at your own pace. What do I think of G2 versus Damwon? I think yeah. Like here, I have Damwon going. I think Damwon is favored like 70%. I don't want to, maybe 80% Damwon. G2 again, they're better best of 5 teams, so I wouldn't look too much into their Suning kind of games, even though they should not have won the first game. So they should have been 0-2 versus Suning. But I think the meta very much favors Damwon compared to G2. And Damwon has really impressed me. As I said, I've said this multiple times now, Damwon is the most gold efficient team at Worlds, especially top side. G2, they have good solo lanes, but I think the fact that the meta is revolving around the jungler right now is really going to punish G2. I don't think Jankos is in a good position for the meta. Like I said, the things that favor G2 are that historically they match up well into LCK teams, and Perks, Mickey, Caps, Wonder are all amazing players and they can absolutely carry the game. But I think Jankos is really going to be a liability here because of how jungle is working right now. I think that's possible. I think this is a 60%. Like, if G2 shows up, which they've been known to show up, right? They haven't been known to be a choking team necessarily. I mean, except last year in the finals. So I think G2 has a good chance here. I'll say this again, okay? So G2, right? They're the first seed of EU, right? They match up well into LCK teams historically. Genji are the third team of Korea. They went 50-50 against Fnatic. G2 went 3-0 against Fnatic. Okay, those are kind of my things. I think G2, sure, they look shaky, but Genji, they haven't really necessarily shown me anything impressive, right? They went 50-50 against Fnatic. Okay, that's not looking good. They beat TSM. Wow, that's not that good. They beat LGD. Okay, that's good. I'll give them that. But overall, I don't think Genji has shown me anything special. that makes them beat G2 necessarily. I will say, G2, they haven't really shown me anything that makes them beat Gen G, but just, the fact that they're the first seed and they historically have good matchups into LCK teams, that's kind of what I'm going off of. A lot of this is like historical bias kind of thing. This is what I believe. This is what I will lock in. Maybe, when I look back, the only things I can look at now are like analyst decisions. I don't think anything changes though. Maybe I can be convinced off of G2 because of Genkos. I think Genkos is a liability, just right now. So there is that potential. I don't really see much else changing here. Maybe this. Okay. Here, we'll talk a little bit about these again. Okay, so let me answer. Let me answer this question because it's quicker. So G2's lost to Liquid and 2 times against Suiting. Yes, that was a tiebreaker, right? Yes, that is true. But I mean, I don't think Genji has necessarily shown me anything. How do I earn 500 points? Well, I don't. Is that even possible? What is the pick'em like? What is the? I don't think that's possible. All right. All right. You want to see the pick'em before? Yeah, sure. So I got all of D right. The only thing I mixed up were like 1 and 2, 3 and 4s. I guessed every team getting out correctly. Yeah. Okay. All right. So. Okay. Let me go back over the percentages, I guess. So I think top beats Fnatic 80% of the time. I think JD beats Suning 70% of the time. I think G2 beats Genji 60% of the time. I think Damwon beats DRX. I'm going to be extremely bad there. I'm going to go 80% of the time. I think top beats G... Okay, so I'll start with this end. I think Damwon beats G2 70% of the time. I think top beats JD 50. I think this is a 50-50. I think this is as close to a 50-50 as we get. I think here, top Damwon is 60% for top. Okay? So I think, of course, that there are things that can change it. I'm not going to change it. This is how I feel. I think Damwon definitely has a possibility to win. Okay, a lot just happened. Oh, you mean Blue Essence. The watching rewards. So my rewards. I got so many. I just AFK'd and watched a ton of things. Missions. Yeah, just watch. Just log in. And watch. Oh, how do you get the Blue Essence pick'em? That one should be very easy to get unless you just like int. You just have to lock. Oh, you have to lock them in. Did you not do your groups? That was only for groups. So if you didn't lock them in, you don't get them. My pick'em score. My pick'em score so far is 44. I'm a little sad. I only get half, even though I got that basically right. I don't know what the... I don't think there's another way you can get it. So I've been watching on the LOL esports page because that's how you originally link it, but I think there's ways you can link if you watch on Twitch as well. I just watched through here because that is the original way, but I think if you just watch on Twitch, they let you link some other ways as well. I'm not really here to troubleshoot that. Yeah. Okay. I think I think these are getting away. So, yeah, let me know. I mean, I think I'm just gonna get out of here. Okay. I think I've been over all the questions now, so you can take a look over the VOD if there's anything in particular. Yeah, my pick'em score was 40. The A is gonna be over. Okay, I got one right. Alright. I mean, as long as okay. So how do you lock it? You just so group stage is done. You cannot do anything there. If you go to knockout stage and start to change the predictions, it'll save it, and then that'll be all you have to do. Oh, this. You guys are making me mess up my lock-in here. Continuing to be the tournament surprise and beat JD Gaming. Okay, so for me, I think it's 70% chance that JD win that. Okay. So from the LPL, these two teams, Top and JD, have shown that they are the... Dang it. Top and JD have shown they are the top two teams for sure in the LPL region. I will say that Suning has definitely shown improvement since the LPL has concluded, and JDG, they look okay. I wouldn't say they look bad or anything, but Suning has definitely improved. I don't think the gap has been closed though. If you get all quests, so if you lock in, here's the lock-in pricing. You get the 50 essence, you get the essence here, you get this, you get this. So yes, if you lock in all of these picks now, you get all the rewards on the left side. So the blue essence, the champion shard, and you get 500 more blue essence. You get some orange essence, and you get some hex tech chest and keys. You have to get certain amount of points for these icons. And you need to be an absolute lucker dog to get this. Not a chance. How do I go to my pick'em again? Right. My picks. Okay. All right. Quick questions. Hopefully I answered your question, Willie. I think I did. I do not. I think it's like a 30% chance that Suning wins that. Because like I said, JD in the LPL was very above any team below them, but Suning has definitely improved. There you go. All right. I think that's it, though, everyone. I'm going to go. Unless someone sneaks in a question here, I'm going to go. G2 beats Genji. Yes. G2, again, favorable into LCK teams. G2 is the first seed. Genji is the third seed. G2 has 3-0'd Fnatic. Genji has gone 50-50 against Fnatic. Sure, G2 looks shaky, but at the same time, Genji has not really shown me anything impressive at Worlds. They went 50-50 against Fnatic. That's about it. They beat teams that were weaker than them. Okay. That's my opinion. Ariox. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah. Thanks for commenting. Yeah. If Tess wins World, does that make FlyQuest equivalent to the World Champions? Unfortunately, wait, they win the last one? Of course that does. Absolutely. Yep, that definitely was not a for fun Urgot game in that game, with Lux versus a Blitzcrank. Not hard countered. Not draft differenced. Oh my god, that I didn't watch the game, but like that draft is just so bad by Tess. like yikes, dude, that draft. I'll go because I wanted to be ready as soon as the pick'ems were ready. I'll go watch the games later, but yeah, that top esports draft against FlyQuest is a big yikes. Yeah, the 9-man sleep that people memed. Oh yeah, I will say that the NA rookies looked very, very good this year, which is a good sign, right? So we had Tactical and we had Spica. They looked really good this year. Unfortunately, TSM, the rest of the members, did not perform. Um, and then I said this earlier, but for NA, I'm happy with how FlyQuest and Liquid performed. They look good. Yeah, I'm happy that they went 3-3. I'm also happy they didn't make it out of groups because they would be dead immediately. Yeah. TSM, they did not play to win any games. They played literally to, I don't know. They've played not to lose, but that's not good enough. Like there's the clip that showed up with Mark's commenting that the TSM 5-man Dova turret against 3 of them. They should have killed all 3, but they killed 1 and then ran away and lost everything else around the map because they didn't kill 3 and press that advantage. Yeah, bro, it's another Pog World Championship. I mean, it's Pog for Asia. They have their population and their player base is huge. So in terms of that, yeah, big Pog. But of course, in terms of Western, no, that's uh-oh. Look, the Poggest final would probably be this, but the odds of that happening. Okay, in terms of viewership, this would be the Poggest, but that's not happening. G2 making it to the finals would be the Poggest in terms of viewership, I think, but this is fine. Ooh, all right. Yeah, double lift. Yeah, the bot lane in general underperformed. I do think that, in my personal opinion, I think Freak flamed Biofrost way too hard, but that's fine. Because there's the clip of him kill stealing Bjergsen. And I think that is generally an absolutely normal play, and people said, Orianna had flash and all this stuff. So I think that play is fine. I think he was just, a lot of things. Alright. I'm getting out of here. I think this guy might be trolling me. Yeah, okay. Absolutely, G2 winner. I like, okay, so the scenario that G2 wins is they somehow beat Damwon here. They somehow beat Damwon here, and then at the world stage, when all the fans are there, because there will be fans in attendance, top esports won't know what to do because they've been in a bubble for so long. They don't know what to do with fans, so G2 wins. But that is very unlikely. They need to make it through Damwon in order for that to happen. That's my meme answer to the G2 winner one. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye. And thanks so much for watching, commenting, and if you do like and subscribe, that's great. But if not, that's perfectly fine. My content is all over the place. I do whatever I want. So see ya if I never see you again.